Today I am taking you to Turkey. Turkey is a gorgeous country where Western society confronts the Islamic religion. There are fascinating cities like Istanbul where both mosques and churches take place. That city, Istanbul, is located in two continents indeed, Asia and Europe. Turkey is also a reminder for us all that in the past it was a giant empire and its Ottoman pride is present so far. But the struggle for Western concepts as democracy and press freedom is not exclusive to the European population in Turkey. There is a minority persecuted by the Turkish state since the establishment of the republic in 1923 after the Treaty of Lausanne. I refer to the Kurdish folk. So, my questions are, should Kurdish journalists have special ways for them to be protected in Turkey? And is it possible under the framework of a nationalist government like Erdogan's? And those questions are relevant but difficult to answer because I said that since the beginning of the Turkish state, authorities have persecuted minorities in order to build a unique nation. And that is that the creation of a republic was headed by Mustafa Kemal, after called Atatürk, which means father of Turkish. Atatürk made and developed a nationalist project but paradoxically under Western and open-minded values. However, and despite of the fact that the current leader of the republic, Recep Tayyip Erdogan, appeals to the Ottoman pride and Islamic values, both Atatürk and Erdogan are ultra-nationalists and have persecuted Kurds. Kurdish people were left out of any international treaty to conform a non-state. The Kurdish folk are a nation without a state. Yeah, as you heard, a nation but not a state. And some of you probably are thinking, oh Samuel, is that possible? Of course it's possible because a nation represents a group of people who feel bound into a single body by shared culture, values, folkways, religion and language, as in the case of the Kurdish people. However, a state just refers to a patch of land with a sovereign government. So, Kurds are spread over 4 states, Iran, Syria, Iraq and Turkey. And most of Kurds live in the last one, I mean in the Turkish Kurdistan. According to the United Nations, there are around 60 million Kurds, of whom 45% are Turkish. For that reason, Turkish state headed by the Prime Minister Recep Tayyip Erdogan is forced to respect Kurds and to create several spaces where minorities can participate without this posing a threat to their lives. And as we already know, media is appropriated to the minorities. Perhaps no longer from now, more specifically in 1991, the Turkish constitution allowed mass media to diffuse Kurdish culture and to broadcast in Kurdish language. That's terrible. But Turkey is a contrasting country and Kurds have their own political party called PPK, which acronyms in Turkish language mean Kurdistan Workers' Party, and is not forbidden in theory press freedom to Kurds. Wait a moment, so why do exist the next cases? First, Sebat Tuncel. She was a congresswoman of the PPK and only for disseminating her opinion about the Kurdish conflict from the point of view of a court was sentenced on prison for 15 years. The second case is Hamza Aktan. His case is particular because he is a Turkish journalist and not a Kurdish one, but in fact of tweeting for the Kurdish people was arrested by the police in Istanbul in April 2016. It's enough to say that Turkey is one of the world's ranked in press freedom according to the Journalists Without Borders. So, I conclude saying that it's extremely necessary to create special ways for Kurdish journalists and also for Turkish journalists to be protected. But that is only possible if it exists an international vigilance because, as I said, Erdogan has an ultra-nationalist project in mind.